Greetings, indie warriors. It's time to delve into all the latest indie game news from this past week with me, Ole Gamer Joe, and Silent Signs. This week's episode of I Dream of Indie Games Weekly is sponsored by Steel Krill Studio. Releasing on March 17th of 2023, the Voidness LiDAR horror survival game is a science fiction psychological horror title that will be entering early access. Taking place within the Void. Ooh, that's ominous. You'll need to scan environments using your rangefinder, but you'll need to do so very quietly because they are listening. Unravel this dark mystery under the constant tension of knowing that something is watching you. The game features blood, flashing lights, and jump scares, so be warned. The Voidness is not for the faint of heart. Playing as Francesca Lee, your scanner will be your only friend in the Void, and thankfully it can be upgraded and improved to give you a fighter's chance of surviving. Are you lost within the Void? Fear not, you can mark locations, but remember, your footsteps are loud and they can echo, and they will find you. The Voidness utilizes your microphone, so if you so much as fart or sneeze or breathe loudly, you could potentially be putting yourself at risk. Too intense? I suppose if you're a wimp you can turn that feature off, but what fun is that? With scary enemies, puzzles to solve, a fun stamina system, inventory management options, and heart-wrenching moments, prepare to enter the Voidness on March 17th, if you dare. Once again, we would like to thank Steel Krill Studio for sponsoring this video, and links to the Voidness are available in the description box below. That is, if you're not too scared to click one of them. Now on to the indie game news. Well, hello, indie warriors, legends, immortals, grand members, indie gods, if there's any of you out there. It's good to be with you once again. I'm Ole Gamer Joe. No Silent Signs this week, unfortunately. She's a little bit under the weather. She wanted to come on and struggle through, but she has absolutely no voice. Her throat is just all kinds of messed up, unfortunately. Something's going around the house once again. It feels like we just can't get healthy here at I Dream of Indie Games lately. It's been a nasty flu and bug and everything else season. So unfortunately, y'all are stuck with my ugly mug. No shave, no haircut, none of it. I literally just quit my job last week, and I am now full-time here at I Dream of Indie Games, which is terrifying, but hopefully that means I'll be able to take care of myself a little bit better when I appear on camera, and I'll be feeling a little better, and I'll be more focused to bring you all the latest indie game news, all the great content here at I Dream of Indie Games. Good to be with you, though, either way. So, if you are new to the channel, real quick, patreon.com/idreamofindiegames. It's a wonderful way to support us. We have a lot of great content exclusively for patrons, like the brand new show I'll be recording a little bit later today. It's called Cozy Casual. It's a conversational show between me and many of not only the I Dream of Indie Games staff, but some of our patrons get involved too. So really excited. We're going to be talking about such thrilling topics like dick pics and locker rooms and all kinds of crazy stuff that you just won't see here on YouTube, unfortunately. So if you are interested, we also give ad-free, sponsor-free versions of these shows. That includes this very show and upcoming indie games to get excited about. So all of that out of the way, I know what you're all here for. You want to hear all the latest indie game news, and we have a good amount of it this week, I would say. So let's hop right into it here. Up first, Dark Panda is thrilled to announce the development of Psycho Fear, a heart-pounding survival horror experience inspired by the hit movie franchise Saw. I've seen pretty much all of the Saw movies. The 3D one was the last one. I didn't see, what was it, Spiral or whatever came out after that. Cool series. It does kind of drag on, and maybe they milked it a little too much, but either way, I enjoyed them. I'm into the torture porn stuff, I guess you could say, from time to time. There's a sick, twisted part of Ole Gamer Joe's brain that comes out to watch this weird media. In Psycho Fear, players are trapped and must use their wit and determination to escape the clutches of a twisted psychopath and survive. With challenging puzzles, deadly obstacles, and an intense atmosphere, this game delivers a nerve-wracking experience that can be enjoyed solo or with up to 3 players in co-op. 𝐦𝐨𝐬 is set to be released on Steam in Q2 of 2024. Get ready to experience the heart-pounding thrills of 𝐸𝐸 with Dark Panda, whether playing solo or teaming up with friends. And for those of you that are familiar with the channel and have heard a lot of my reviews over the years, you know I love co-op experiences. More of a local guy myself. I know I'm old school like that, but still cool that you'll have the option here to work together. I think that's going to help this game to stand out a little bit, but we'll see. It's quite a ways off with 2024 not really being on my mind currently. Any Figment fans out there? This next story might pertain to you. Figment 2 from Bedtime Digital Games will be launching soon. This is a surreal action-adventure title coming March 9th of 2023. We don't have to wait long at all. This is going to be on Steam and the Epic Game Store, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and the Xbox all at once, so nobody's going to be left out. Everyone will be able to enjoy this title right away. There's a new trailer released, and it's a mix of 3D animation and exclusive gameplay. This next story really brought back some memories. I had this really random PSX game back in the day. I don't remember if I bought it or I rented it, but definitely remembered playing it, and then I went back and looked up some old footage, and yeah, I recall it being really fun. Probably doesn't hold up like a lot of old PS1 games tend not to, but either way, Death Trap Dungeon, the interactive video adventure, is coming to the Nintendo Switch in Q2 of 2023, and this is nothing like the game I had played on PS1. Based on the classic fighting fantasy game book by Ian Livingstone, the game stars British actor Eddie Marsan, Ray Donovan from The Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, and Deadpool 2, who acts as a narrator and guide in this faithful recreation of the beloved fantasy book. Death Trap Dungeon, arguably the most popular book in the fighting fantasy series, which originally released in 1984, that's going back, trust me, that's about when I was born, and challenges the player to survive the Trial of Champions, which takes place in the Labyrinth of Fang, full of fiendish traps and deadly creatures set by the devious Baron 𝐸𝐸. So yeah, quite different from the PS1 original game that I had played. Y'all have to let me know how the books were too, because I also never checked those out, but I'd be curious to do so. I love fantasy and dungeons, and heck, when I did go back and look at the PS1 game, it reminded me of how much I used to enjoy the Deception games. I don't know if you all remember those from Tecmo, but it was cool. You'd set these little traps. It was dark, disturbing, and then the enemies would have to trigger the traps and get all messed up. It was cool. I really would like to see the Deception series on another topic come back too. Next up, Hooded Horse is delighted to announce that it has partnered with Balancing Monkey Games, creators of the critically acclaimed city building game Before We Leave, to assist the studio in publishing their next title, Beyond These Stars. Driven to explore the mysteries of the cosmos, the denizens of Beyond These Stars risk everything to settle on the back of 𝐥𝐤, a majestic creature who travels the stars. Players will have limited room and materials with which to build their civilization, and the main question this spacefaring city builder asks is, how will players use the second chance they've been given? Beyond These Stars will be released on PC via Steam Early Access and the Epic Game Store later this year. So not my genre of choice usually, but I know there's a lot of fans of these games on the channel, and I do like the art direction of this title, so one to keep an eye on here. Beyond These Stars. I keep wanting to say Beyond the Stars for some reason, but it's these, damn it. So did any of y'all play the Pathless? I did actually really like this game quite a bit. A lot of originality and heart went into it, and a gorgeous art direction. The Pathless is getting a physical edition on the Switch. 𝐼𝐴M8-bit and distribution partner Skybound Games, together with publisher Annapurna Interactive and developer Giant Squid Studios, have revealed that the Nintendo Switch retail physical editions of the Pathless will launch on April 18th, not too far off. Fans can pre-order the stunning 𝐼𝐴M8-bit exclusive edition and base retail edition for $39.99 here in North America. Y'all will have to tell me how 𝐼𝐴M8-bit is, because I've never ordered anything from them. I'm sure at least one of you have, so let me know in the comments below. I've heard mixed things from some of these companies, some good, some bad. This is just one that I'm not super familiar with. I've heard the name, but I've just not ordered. I'm not much of a physical collector these days, unfortunately. For those of you into the romantic side of gaming, this next release might be of interest to you. The Deep End Games and 2124 Publishing, the studio featuring some of the brilliant minds behind the hit classic BioShock, today announced the official release date for @Romancylvania, launching on March 7th for the PlayStation 5, the Xbox X and S, Steam, and Epic Games, with Nintendo's Switch version coming at a later date. The world needs more love, says narrative director Amanda Gardner, and cheese-obsessed werewolves and spicy pumpkin witches, with Romancylvania, the deep end committed to realizing the most fleshed-out, quirky, and irresistible characters for 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞 to fall or befriend. We're constantly striving for players to feel invested in both the characters and the world in unexpected ways. You'll be hard-pressed to find a combo of laughs, bloodlust, and tenderness anywhere else. I know just the person for this job. If you watched last week's episode of I Dream of Indie Games Weekly, she was hosting the show. Literary Rose will absolutely eat this up, pun intended. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐤, 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐬 Concerto of Simul Tricks, coming March 16th to consoles. Whew, that was a tongue twister. But P-Cube has announced this game. It's a 3D arena battler, going to be on the PS4, the PS5, and the Switch March 16th of 2023. An exciting 3D battle arena game filled with action and lovable characters. Gear up, strap in, and take down the competition, they say. You don't get a lot of these games these days, so this is pretty exciting. I think the art style looks great. I enjoyed these old mech battling games back in the day. It's been a while since I've played one, so this one's on my wish list for sure. Definitely want to check it out when it does release, and I don't have to wait too long. Rhythm game fans, you'll appreciate this next story. Global game publisher CFK, headed by 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞, have announced that as of February 16th, pre-orders have opened for the Nintendo Switch version of the rhythm game 𝐥𝐸𝐬𝐷 Star Trail. The Nintendo Switch version of 𝐥𝐸𝐬𝐷 Star Trail, slated for its official March 16th release, was first introduced to the public at the 2022 Tokyo Game Show. This version of the game was developed with the aim of maintaining the playability of the Steam version of 𝐥𝐸𝐬𝐷 Star Trail, while also optimizing its feel for the Switch and introducing new content via the platform. This is a key-based rhythm game that sends you on an interstellar voyage with your cute, charming partner and mascot of this game. I'm a huge fan of rhythm games. I especially like them on handheld, so this is going to be a lot of fun to play on the Switch. I got a good feeling about it, and it's on early access too on Steam if you don't want to wait. Alright, Prismatica and Team Laserbeam announced a tag team publishing partnership to bring role-playing meets wrestling dating sim Wrestling with Emotions New Kid on the Block to PC later this year. Wrestling with Emotions New Kid on the Block flips the dating sim genre upside down and power bombs it through a ringside table, giving players the chance to befriend, seduce, enrage, and body slam a diverse cast of heartthrobs in a one-of-a-kind experience. Choice is everything in Wrestling with Emotions New Kid on the Block, letting players embark on their own over-the-top adventure, which celebrates individuality and rewards everyone with their own absurd adventure of bent rules, broken hearts, and bulging biceps. I love that wrestling games are kind of doing their own thing outside of the ring now too, and trying new things with different characters and stuff, and not necessarily just focusing on being wrestling games, even though I like wrestling games. This is cool. There was another one, I can't think of the name right now, you'll let me know in the comments below, but there's like a wrestling RPG that's coming out soon that I've also kind of had on my radar, so this is cool to see that they're kind of do a narrative thing here. We'll see how it plays out. Last but not least, the drama with the Outbound Ghost developer and publisher battle continues, as the Outbound Ghost dev has copyright struck his own game, and this legal battle is just getting messier and messier. This story comes from Nintendo Life. 𝐸𝐸𝐤𝐷 Games, the developer behind the Paper Mario-inspired RPG, The Outbound Ghost, has escalated its legal battle with the game's console publisher, Digerati, by issuing a copyright strike on its own game via the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. In a video posted online via YouTube and Twitter, which you can view, it's out there if you want. I'm not going to put a link in the description box, but I'm sure it's not hard to find. Conrad, the game's lead developer, explains why the studio has taken such drastic action. He states that the console publisher breached the agreed contract with 𝐸𝐸𝐤𝐷 by releasing a game supposedly full of bugs. In addition, he says the PC version of the game contains additional language support for Spanish, French, German, but the Switch version of the game omits these entirely. Conrad then goes on to state that Digerati is currently in the process of suing 𝐸𝐸𝐤𝐷 over the termination of their contract and defends statements he had previously made regarding the state of the console ports, stating that documents relating to the case are viewable to the public. He says that Digerati had failed to pay 𝐸𝐸𝐤𝐷 any royalties relating to sales of the game, explaining that Digerati provided 𝐸𝐸𝐤𝐷 with a figure that it had intended to pay but failed to do so. Now, Digerati did respond to all of this just recently. And they say, quote, "It has come to our attention that Conrad Borel has recently posted a series of videos on Twitter containing several falsehoods about the ongoing dispute between Conradical and Digerati regarding the Outbound Ghost. Digerati totally refutes Conrad's statements. Conradical has been timely, paid all the royalties due to date. Digerati advised Conrad of such payments several hours before he posted the video on February 16th. Conrad also accuses Digerati of not reporting certain royalty payments. This is another falsehood. We provide Conrad with all statements for each revenue source. We've offered a full audit of our books to Conradical's legal team. They have not exercised this option, but Conrad continues to assert these false claims." And this just goes on and on. This is a messy situation, folks. And you know, I think the developer, it's a good in a way that they've stood up for themselves and they feel like they were wronged getting a bad version of this game. And that sucks for the consumer too, who really ultimately gets screwed in this situation as well. They get kind of these crappy console ports that aren't up to snuff. And from all I've heard, the Outbound Ghost, I didn't play it myself, but it's a pretty solid game, at least on the PC. A lot of folks were really enjoying it, and it's a shame that now this is what it's going to be remembered for. But I'm just not sure, Conrad, if this is the way to go about things, and to continually post these videos, make such a public scene out of it. Handle the business, I would say, privately. This is a mess, folks. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Conrad is right to continually be posting these videos and having it out publicly? I myself, you know, I run a business, and when disputes and things happen, you know, always try to handle it privately and settle things and just make everything kind of cool and calm between each party. Come to a peaceful resolution. I think that's the best possible outcome here. Looks like that's unfortunately not going to happen, though. Would love to see everything resolved between the developer and publisher. Again, I don't know which side is right. Everyone will have their day in court apparently now, but just a shame ultimately that the Outbound Ghost is going to be remembered for this and not for being a cool little indie title that paid tribute to the Paper Mario series. I think it really could have been remembered for that. Instead, this is just a big mess. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this situation? All right, it's time to get out of here, folks. No creator spotlight this week. I just didn't have time, unfortunately, to get to that. So we'll double up with that next week, hopefully, and have 2 creators spotlighted for you. But before I go, I want to know, question of the week, which consoles do you currently own? Let me know in the comments section below. Are you PC only? Do you have an assortment of consoles from the Switch to the PlayStations to all the things? I'd love to hear about it. And what are some of your favorite platforms to play on? Let me know too in the comments below. I'm going to get out of here, everybody. Sorry we didn't have the lovely Silent Signs alongside me here this week, but wanted to get this done for you either way. Hope you enjoyed it. Patreon.com/iDreamOfIndieGames for further support of this channel, or you can hit the join button and do all those wonderful things. Have a great week. We have a lot of wonderful content. I quit my job. I'm going to figure everything out. I'm going to be more focused and more involved on this channel than ever before. Hopefully that's good things for you out there. Take care, and we'll see you soon.